Well, good afternoon. I'm at my regular slot today, 3 o'clock. Glad that you can join me. I was just thinking, I held a meeting years ago for a fellow that he had been a mailman. And I thought he had the greatest intro into a sermon that I'd ever heard in my life. He had been a mailman for maybe 50 years or something. And he would get up and he would say, I have brought a lot of news to people over the years. And some of it's been heartbreaking, some of it's been sad. But he said, I'm bringing to you some news tonight that I never could have ever brought anyone news as good as this. And that's Jesus Christ loves you. And I thought, oh man, I wish I'd have been a mailman so I could have said that. But a couple of courses went through my mind, and it was just right along this line. Kind of a little bit of a funny part with that when I held this man a meeting. Now he was regular sized. Their sons, daughters, they were grown, they were regular sized, but he had a little midget wife. And once we would start, maybe in the morning, have a little bit of breakfast. As soon as we were done, because her hands were so little and it took her so much to try to do things, she would start making lunch for us. Well, lunch would get around about 5 o'clock maybe. Then we'd have our evening service. And when we had our service, the parsonage was attached right to the little building that we have, so she could hear what was going on. And she would be in there preparing something for us after the service. She was so tiny, but the laugh that they got, she told me one time that they had gone to a carnival or a circus or whatever it was, and they were advertising the smallest woman in the world, the tiniest woman ever on the planet Earth. And they walked in to see her, and Mrs. Brown, the preacher's wife, found out she was smaller than that woman was. So that was kind of a funny little story that they love to tell. But I have a song here that I want to sing this afternoon, but I got a little bit of a story that goes to it. The name of the song is Now I Belong to Jesus. And that's a good thing to know, because he belongs to us. We belong to him. And the writer of this, again, was a preacher, as most writers were in these days, they have these old hymns and things. But this writer here, he said that when he was 12 years old, he went to the South Side Baptist Church there in the town where he lived, and he became their organist. Now he was only 12 years old, so he must have really had some talent of something. But he said he worked for his dad. His dad had a construction company, but boy, during the Depression, things were pretty hard to get any work like that. He worked on their dairy farm, so his dad kind of had a lot of different irons in the fire, I guess. But he said the one thing that helped him through the Depression and through the times that he went through after that was the knowledge that Jesus never fails. This is a song that was sung many, many times, and some of the people seem like with the better voices sang this, but I'm going to try to do it myself today. Jesus, my Lord, will love me forever. From him no power of evil can sever. He gave his life to ransom my soul. Now I belong to him. Now I belong to Jesus, and Jesus belongs to me. Oh, not for the years of time alone, but for eternity. Once I was lost in sin's degradation. Jesus came down to bring me salvation, lifted me up from the sorrow and shame, and now I belong to Him. Now I belong to Jesus, and Jesus belongs to me. Not for the years of time alone, but for eternity. Glad to see Cousin Susan, Brother Fred. Happy to have you tune in this afternoon, and I know there will be a lot of others that will be turning in. This last verse I love also says, joy floods my soul, for Jesus has saved me, free from my sin, and long has enslaved me. Precious His blood that redeemeth my soul, now I belong to Him. Now I belong to Jesus, and Jesus belongs to me. Not for the years of time alone, but for eternity. You know, just as I was getting ready for this afternoon's program, I don't know, I just felt something in my heart. God didn't speak any big word to me or nothing, but I just want to say, if there's somebody maybe across the world today, maybe you're in a motel room, sitting there just going through your phone to see what's going on. Maybe you don't know where your life is going. You can have this knowledge in your heart today that you belong to Jesus. Just ask Him to come into your heart. Take your life. Sometimes we say, Lord, I wonder if you can fix this mess that I've made here on earth. But He comes in and just does it within just no time, and you can be singing too. Now I belong to Jesus. Jesus belongs to me. Not for the years of time alone, but for eternity. Well, that's all we have to do is ask the Lord to come into our heart. And He never fails us. Oh, we've failed Him many, many times. And I hate to think of some of the ways that I've failed the Lord. But all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, Lord, forgive me, let me try this over again. Because He has promised. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. Heaven and earth may pass away, but Jesus never fails, never failed me yet, never failed me yet. Jesus' love has never failed me yet. This one thing I know, that wherever I go, Jesus' love has never failed me yet. So just reach out to the Lord this afternoon, and He'll come right to your call, make a new person out of you. Make that, like I said, that mess that we make in our lives sometimes. Maybe you have a situation where you don't know where the next cent's coming from. Getting all kind of bills, and you don't know how in the world you're going to pay them. But He's promised us that we wouldn't be begging bread, or that we wouldn't be without what we need. We might not always have a steak dinner, but He's not going to let us starve either. So I'll sing it on my way out. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails.